Saitama is the main protagonist of the series and the titular One-Punch Man and the most powerful being to exist in the series. Saitama faces a self-imposed existential crisis, as he is now too powerful to gain any thrill from battle. Initially just a hero for fun, Saitama later registers to be a professional hero for the Hero Association and defends his home in Z City from monsters, villains, and other threats. Under the Hero Association, he is assigned the hero name Caped Baldy and is currently ranked 7 in the B class. Appearance: Saitama is an ordinary-looking bald man with a thin but well-built physique and is of average height and weight. He used to have a full head of short black hair but lost it due to the intensity of his hero training regimen. Saitama is usually deliberately drawn in a more simplistic style than the other characters, similar to the style of the original webcomic, with an elliptical head and simple facial features. When drawn in a more serious style, Saitama is revealed to have sharp facial features, fearsome eyes, and chiseled musculature. His posture changes as well, with a slack posture and sloping shoulders when lax, and a straightened posture and squared shoulders when serious. Clothing: Saitama's hero costume consists of a yellow one-piece jumpsuit with a short zipper at the collar and a black belt with a round golden buckle at its center. He wears red gloves that go 3/4 up his forearms and red boots that nearly reach his knees. His costume is finished off with a white cape, which is fastened to his shoulders with round button. Personality: Saitama is an indifferent person. Even the mightiest foes pose no challenge to him, so he does not take his hero work seriously, goes through everything with little to no effort, and yearns for an opponent that can provide him with a challenge. The lack of worthy opponents has led him to suffer from a self-imposed existential crisis, 3, and he claims that his ability to feel any and all emotions has dulled considerably. The combination of his attitude, unstoppable power, and unimpressive appearance often causes his battles to become anticlimactic. Saitama will usually allow his opponents to rant about their motives and power up into their strongest forms, before obliterating them with a single punch. Saitama has limited patience for long explanations, however, and will often interrupt the speaker. His ideal word count is 20 or less. A running gag about Saitama is his inability to remember people's faces and names, as seen when he forgot Speed O Sound Sonic's name, or when he could not remember who Tank Top Tiger was. Because of this, he sometimes ends up pronouncing people's names incorrectly, much to their chagrin. Saitama is very humble, as he purposefully let the masses turn against him in order for the defeated heroes to be given credit for their efforts against the Deep Sea King, even claiming that they had weakened the monster before his arrival. He did the same for the police station, killing a monster while disguised as a police officer, despite potentially gaining much fame had he revealed who he actually was. He also did not mind that King took credit for all of his achievements. Despite his humility and modesty, he still retains some sense of pride, since he wants to beat up Garo after realizing that the latter didn't want to hunt him during his hero hunt, just because he is a low-ranking hero who is not worthy to be hunted. However, Saitama's desire to pummel Garo mostly comes from his desire for an exciting and challenging fight, not for his pride as a powerful hero. Another surprising thing about Saitama is that he is very tactful and insightful, being well able to discern situations and character traits from the people and environment around him fairly easily. He was able to pick up a number of hints to Sonic's persona upon their first meeting. When two Tank Top heroes jealously plotted to ruin him after the Meteor event, he remarked that there were irate and self-serving hero types like them. He was even able to discern Fubuki's forced offer of submission or destruction just before his crackdown on how the hero world really works than how it is currently run. Saitama has been seen to show remorse to his enemies before, particularly ones who can give him a stimulating fight and don't just go down in one hit. One such example of this is Boros, with whom Saitama sympathized, due to suffering from similar circumstances. Though in the end, even Boros still couldn't draw out Saitama's full power. Garo is also one, as he recognized Garo did not want to become a monster but rather felt that was his spot. Saitama does not actually care if people insult him, and he usually ignores them and says that they need a hobby. The only insult that could get a reaction out of him is anything pertaining to his baldness. He has expressed distaste towards his officially assigned hero name, Caped Baldy. Thus, even after receiving it, he always refers to himself as Saitama. He also shows a measure of concern when it comes to bargains and deals, as seen when he fought Carnage Kabuto, where he was more shocked upon the realization that he was going to miss a bargain sale, rather than his opponent who had undergone a transformation and was beating him around. Despite his general indifference to most things, Saitama was genuinely shocked when he realized that no one actually knew of him despite his achievements, curious as to why he doesn't have any fans. This reaction demonstrates that while he isn't necessarily into hero work for fame, he certainly doesn't object to it. Another running joke is Saitama's jealousy of higher rankings, such as when he grew irritated when Genos listed off all of the comments made by fans about how amazing Genos is in their eyes. Saitama demonstrates impressive restraint with his power, considering that he is easily capable of splitting the sky or jumping from the moon to Earth. He manages to beat nearly all of his opponents with a single punch, though occasionally causes more devastation than necessary. While he has no problem killing monsters, Saitama has yet to be seen killing another human and only ever uses enough strength to knock them out. Becoming a hero has always been a dream of Saitama's. Before becoming one, he used to be frustrated about society like Hammerhead. Saitama has proven to be a good figure to other people, both heroes and villains alike. His influence made Genos quiet his revenge wishes and start training to become a good hero. He has also made insecure people like Fubuki and Glasses stand up to their challenges and become better heroes. Saitama also advises King to train and become strong for real, rather than being upset the latter stole credit from his battles. As Fubuki notes, he attracts the strong, as many powerful heroes and villains have taken a liking to him, and some even look up to him as a role model to follow. Aside from being quite a cheapskate due to his financial status, he has a greedy side seen when tried to steal bags of gold from the underground mine inside the Monster Association headquarters and was visibly upset after accidentally dropping them down to the bottom of an underground ravine. Abilities and powers: Saitama is the titular one-punch man and the strongest, fastest and most durable character in the series. So far, no enemy has been able to injure him in any way, and almost no enemy has been able to survive a single earnest punch from him. A few enemies have survived punches from him, such as any human he has struck and Boros, whom Saitama empathized with and held back against so as to give himself and Boros a satisfying and stimulating fight. Saitama's only power is that his body is far beyond human limits, allowing him to achieve astounding physical feats. His strength is so great that it vastly eclipses even artificial beings designed or bred specifically for superhuman combat, such as mechanical beings or the mutated warriors from the House of Evolution. Since no enemies have posed any real challenge to Saitama yet, the upper bound of his strength is likely even higher than it currently appears. While his power is only limited to heightened human traits, he cannot fly or fire energy blast. His superhuman abilities more than compensate for the lack of variety in his powers. The origin of Saitama's immense strength is mysterious and unclear. Although he tells everyone he got his incredible power through mere physical training, no one believes him at all. According to Saitama, after a year and a half of 100 daily push-ups, sit-ups, and squats plus 10 kilometers daily running, he had achieved some level of superhuman strength. This training was apparently so intense for Saitama that he at times felt he might die, and claims that it is what caused all of his hair to suddenly and eventually fall out. Genos believes that Saitama himself doesn't actually know or understand how he gained his power, and hopes to learn the secret by sparring with and observing him, while Dr. Genos believes that Saitama worked out with said training regimen so hard that he had removed his limiter. It should be noted that Saitama would complete all parts of the training one after the other without breaks and was battling monsters that appeared during that time, which would have made completing the training more intense than it would normally be expected. Despite his unbelievable physical prowess, Saitama can be outperformed by people with skills in areas outside fighting, like when he was bested by Bang in a game of rock, paper, scissors or defeated by King in video games, mostly in one-sided matches. Furthermore, he also seems to possess a normal human appetite, as he lost to Genos in a spicy noodle eating contest. Physical abilities: unparalleled strength. Saitama possesses seemingly limitless physical strength and is capable of effortlessly defeating powerful monsters and villains with a single, nonchalant punch. Saitama's punch is so powerful that many enemies simply explode when struck. He is also shown to be able to effortlessly destroy walls and buildings. An example of this casual, yet overwhelming offensive power occurs when Saitama launches himself from the top of a building, blasts right through a city-sized meteor with a punch, lands safely, and just calmly decides to go home. Another instance is when Sonic tries to slice Saitama's head in half with a steel sword, but Saitama stops the sword by catching it with his teeth, effortlessly shattering the blade with the power of his jaw. Also, in the intro, Saitama was seen jumping to and fro at high speeds in the vacuum of outer space with just sheer strength, despite the fact that one would require a solid object to move there at all. When launched from Earth to the Moon by a strike from Boros, he used his jumping power to return to Earth in mere moments, causing a huge shock wave and immense tremors on the surface of the Moon upon departure, as well as on Boros's ship upon landing. A normal punch from him is shown to be very fatal, even to someone as durable as Boros. A single, serious punch from him is able to somehow counter Boros's destructive energy beam attack, and split the sky in half along the whole planet effortlessly, and even then, Boros, who was the fatally injured victim of said move, said that Saitama had plenty of strength to spare and that he did not even try to give it his best shot. Saitama has shown to be able to control the strength of his attacks but still tends to go overboard, occasionally causing mass destruction in the aftermath. Saitama is capable of destroying the Earth if he wanted to. His strength has been said by numerous characters to defy reason. Enhanced leap. Saitama's inability to fly is somewhat compensated by his immense leg strength, allowing him to leap tremendous heights and distances at high speeds. This can be seen when Saitama smashed his head through the ceiling of a gymnasium during the hero tryout simply by jumping. He was also able to smash a building into its foundation just by leaping off from its roof. His greatest feat in this regard, however, was when he leapt from the surface of the moon and ended up back on Earth at a specified point, leaving a crater on the moon's surface in the process. He is also able to jump while still in the air, adjusting his angle of ascent or descent thanks to his amazing power. Shock wave. As shown in his practice bout with Genos, Saitama can control and direct his power in the form of a massive shock wave that comes from his punches. He uses this to show Genos a glimpse of his true power, but stops it before actually punching Genos, with the shockwave from the attack completely annihilating the mountain behind him. Air manipulation. Saitama's unbelievable strength gives him the ability to create large gusts of air. Saitama has demonstrated the ability to control how much wind he generates from his strength when he put out the small fire that was beginning to consume the mediocre ability users. Unparalleled speed and reflexes. Saitama was able to complete a 1500-meter dash in an instant during his hero tryouts. 50. He has proven able to effortlessly keep up with Speed O Sound Sonic, who can move at above hypersonic speeds. Even Genos' computerized targeting systems have difficulty tracking him. Saitama once bit Speed O Sound Sonic's sword at such great speed, Sonic didn't even know what happened. Saitama has also shown the ability to run down a building to save a piece of salmon he was having for lunch, and leap back up said building without bystanders noticing he had even done so. His speed is so impressive that he can even outpace the likes of Flashy Flash, easily dodging his sword swing. When kicked to the moon by Boros's attack, Saitama returned to Earth in mere seconds, which shows that Saitama can even travel at sub-relativistic speeds. Saitama also easily blocked Jeryugenshoops near lightspeed rocks, the speed of which being like a bad joke to him. Ironically, despite his incredible reflexes and speed, he still has problems squashing a simple mosquito. Afterimages. Saitama's speed allows him to create afterimages of himself. He first used this during his training bout with Genos. He was also able to create an infinite amount of afterimages during his fight with Speed O Sound Sonic. Immeasurable dexterity. Saitama is capable of moving any of his limbs at extremely fast speeds without flinching, not stopping until his target is completely obliterated. This is seen when Saitama flawlessly whacks all moles on a whack-a-mole machine during the Hero Association exam. Immeasurable agility. Saitama has been shown to be perfect at dodging and able to perform highly acrobatic maneuvers. Saitama's reflexes render him flexible enough to move through the narrowest creeks and dodge attacks at the closest proximity. Saitama is also able to perform parkour, which he can couple with fighting movements, as shown in his flashbacks. Immense stamina. Saitama has never been shown to tire out when fighting enemies. Even when unleashing a punch more powerful than a planet-destroying attack, Saitama showed no signs of fatigue. The only time in which Saitama was shown to be panting and out of breath, he recovered just seconds later. Immeasurable senses. Saitama's senses are far beyond the human norm. He possesses impressively sharp hearing, being able to pick up on various chatter from bystanders a good distance away even while fighting monsters and the like. Invulnerability. Saitama can withstand blows from extremely powerful beings such as Carnage Kabuto without suffering a single scratch or feeling any pain. No character has been able to damage or even physically harm Saitama. When Genos created a huge, spherical blast of flame to kill Mosquito Girl's mosquitoes, Saitama remains standing right next to him completely unharmed, unperturbed and very dirty. He also survived being kicked to the moon by Boros in his fully powered state, and going from the Earth to the moon and back with little to no damage from leaving and entering the Earth's atmosphere. He even survived the harsh conditions of outer space unscathed during his brief time on the moon. It has been shown that, despite the dangers of holding one's breath in space, Saitama can do so with no negative effects on his body. Saitama also prefers to dodge or block attacks using edged weapons, rather than take them head-on, as he sometimes does with strikes from fists or blunt objects. However, when he does take them dead-on, the object usually breaks or is destroyed, as was the case of Speed O Sound Sonic's sword. Neon's superpowered claw scratches, which can cut buildings in half, were also shown to have no effect against Saitama's head. Immense psychic resistance. Fubuki noted that Saitama is virtually immune to any psychic attacks and very resistant to being manipulated due to his astonishing willpower. Enhanced lung capacity. Although Saitama cannot breathe in space, he has considerable control over his breath. Even in outer space, Saitama manages to hold his breath effortlessly, and he even made a jump back to the Earth from the Moon in seconds with no signs of suffocation. Vacuum adaptation. Saitama's body has been shown to survive in the vacuum of space unscathed for at least a brief period of time. Several factors like a lack of atmosphere and increased exposure of radiation are at play here, although Saitama was not affected by any of them. Temperature immunity. Saitama is immune to all types of temperature-based attacks. In fact, he is immune to the effects of temperature in general. When Genos created a huge, spherical blast of flame to kill Mosquito Girl's mosquitoes, Saitama remained standing next to him unperturbed and completely unharmed. Saitama was unharmed by the intense heat effects caused by atmospheric re-entry after being kicked to the moon by Boros. He has also been shown to be unaffected by Orochi's fire-based attacks in his ultimate form, which could crumble or even destroy a city, if not multiple. Saitama was also able to withstand Withered Sprout's freezing attacks, which were capable on incapacitating one C-class hero, one B-class hero and one A-class hero with ease. The attacks were so strong that the A-class hero Smile Man thought them to be on par with the likes of a dragon-level monster. This ability can be attributed to Saitama refusing to use either the air conditioner or heater during his training. Pain suppression. Before gaining his overwhelming power, Saitama was still able to suppress pain. This has been shown on numerous occasions dating all the way back to his days as a middle school student, taking a beating from two upperclassmen and, later, a wolf-level monster Piggy Bankone. He then got back up when the bullies could not and chased after the monster for his money. Other similar feats include taking strikes from Crablante and personification of a light pull cord during his training as an adult among others. Fighting style expert hand-to-hand combatant. Despite having no formal training, Saitama is a very proficient and adept hand-to-hand combatant. Thanks to many fights with monsters and villains during his training, he's got a lot of fighting experience and developed a good deal of fighting skills. Due to his immeasurable power and boredom, he doesn't usually care about technique and makes use of flawed basic attacks. As Garo notes, most of his usual moves are wasted and lack finesse. However, once serious, Saitama becomes a very skilled and powerful fighter. Saitama mostly uses improvised fighting techniques to take down his enemies. His combat skills allowed him to defeat many criminals and monsters even before gaining his immeasurable power. His fighting style is, unlike the likes of Garo, Bang, Bomb and Suiryu, quite simple but solid when backed with his immeasurable power. He can easily read, counter and strike moves and techniques from fighters with far more experience and training than him. Even Suiryu, a skilled martial artist, commented on his fighting prowess during their fight, noting that he had real fighting experience. He is also able to skillfully combine his superhuman abilities to overwhelm his opponents and even use the environment around him to his benefit. He also uses karate chops and grappling moves to take down villains he doesn't want to kill, or just to knock out people who pick on him. Improvisation. Saitama is very proficient with improvised weapons, such as when he killed his first monster by deftly using his tie to grab the monster's eye and tear out his intestines. He is proficient at improvising in general. Whenever he can't solve a fight with a punch or directly can't punch his foe, he always comes with a solution with one way or another and uses very unique moves that are supported by his immeasurable power. Miscellaneous abilities. Keen perception. Saitama is amazingly good at reading people's fears and real motives with just a look, as well as the reason they are how they are. He proves this many times by reading people like Fubuki and Glasses. He also quickly finds out about King's lie but decides to keep it a secret. However, he is usually good at this only when he gets serious. Warning: the following section contains original webcomic spoilers. Expand to see spoiler content. Strong teeth. In one of his fights with Sonic, the latter attacks him with a sword, which the Caped Baldy replies via biting and destroying said sword with no effort. Intimidation. While he doesn't seem particularly scary, those who know about his abilities show fear of him. Saitama can emit a powerful aura, which makes his foes tremble and become pressured, as Sonic and Genos were left amazed and terrified by his aura. Saitama is able to invoke fear in those he dislikes or who bother him by merely threatening them. Indomitable will. Saitama has been shown to possess incredible willpower. It is most evident in the flashback to his hero training regime. Even if he was in great pain, or could barely move, or vomited blood, he continued his training. Through sheer willpower and effort, he removed his natural limiter.